All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Hope everybody had a blessed and wonderful weekend. And let me get this tweet out so everyone can join in here. 1 second. All right, awesome. Good. All right, we are. All right, so yeah, hope everybody's doing great and healthy and doing well. So looking forward to a full trading week this week. This week we're going to be we're kicking off earnings season this week, so I figured what better topic than to talk about earnings season strategies. So this week we're going to talk about day trading earnings season strategies, and today we're going to talk about a very simple concept, but is also sometimes very difficult. Right? Don't gamble. Okay, so before we do that, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, so today we're going to take a look and see where we're at with the market, and then we'll take a look at the futures and see where we're at tonight and what we have to look forward to potentially into tomorrow morning. And then we're going to get into our topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's take a look and see where we're at, where we left off with the SPX yesterday. Friday. So up 32 points on Friday. So monthly chart still green, working its way up here. Trying to get its way up back to that upper Bollinger Band. Remember this line right here? That's that open gap on the weekly chart, which we can see right here. Right here's that open gap, kind of pushing it forward. So kind of a cool close on Friday, right? So we looked at this all week last week as we were tracking it, and we were red for a little bit on the week. It was turning into a shooting star, and I was like, oh, it would be pretty interesting if they turned it into a hammer and got above all these levels right here. So we analyzed that in our newsletter this weekend, and now we're just going to really kind of see if we can get above and stay above this nasty candle right here, right? So that's kind of the bearish candle that's overseeing all these right now. So we need to see if we can push above that and then see if we can get into that weekly gap, which would be very, very interesting. Daily chart. Okay, so crazy V reversal right here, right off of the Corona crash. And so now we're just kind of hanging out in the trend box, right? We're below the upper trend line right here, but we're starting to get pretty close to that upper trend box high, which is, right, this weekly high right here. So if we can get above that, that's going to shift our trend line over, and then we've got something to work with. Because right now we're still in the chop zone. There's a couple interesting things that are going on here, right? So we've got this line right there. So we slammed right into that on Friday. So that could be interesting. That could be potential resistance. And then when you sort of look at it, right, we got this big cup and handle type thing working on a sideways pattern. And those can actually be very powerful. So we'll see. Now this handle could continue for a while. We can come back down to the cloud and then break out, right, of that cup and that handle pattern right there. So that would be very interesting. So that's what we're kind of tracking here on the SPX going into this week, and we'll see what we have in store. So we've had a gold cross right here on the 5200, right? So we've got a rising 50 MA and the clouds rising. So there's a lot of bullishness going on here. Look at it. We're basically really close to all-time highs, right? And in fact, the Qs have hit all-time highs, right? So that's kind of a big deal, as tech has been pretty strong recently. Let's take a look at that price action on Friday, right? So pretty strong, right? So they got it was another flat open. We had 3 flat opens in a row, and this flat open was interesting, right? Just kind of nasty, choppy price action. We were between levels at the open, right? And then we started working our way up. Big hammer right here, big reversal hammer off the 15-hour blow, and then we just kind of ground our way up all day and then pushed into the close. So pretty interesting stuff. And of course, this is these are the levels that we provide to our members before each market open. Let's get those pulled up here from July. Okay, so you can see here. So, pretty flat open on the gap right here, so kind of held these levels, right? It wasn't until we got through this volumetric line right here. So we came up here, found a little resistance, pushed back down, held the 15-hour high, and then we started to work our way up, right? And we cleared a couple key levels on that one. So it should be interesting to see where we go into for next week. Let's see what they're doing on the futures here tonight. So futures are up 16 points. Yay! So pretty cool stuff. We've got a couple levels right here that we've been tracking, right? So this is a major one right here. This is a huge drop zone. Let's see if I can get this in here for you guys. There's a huge drop zone from here, right? So back in on the 6th of July. So that kind of got things going down, right? So that was the this little move down, came back, retested those levels, down again, got back to those levels again, down again, and then we really started to climb up. Really, it's pretty impressive, right? If you look at the pre-market action and then how we pushed on Friday. Big push up. Got back to these levels right here, and what I like is how we pushed into those levels. We didn't just bounce off of it like we did, in kind of these areas right here. And then tonight they gapped it over it, right? And then we came back and retested it here tonight. So this is huge, right? This is a big deal. We came back, retested that major drop zone right here, and are kind of working our way off of it right here. So let's get a trend line on here for tonight, or a geometric line at least. Trend line would be here, but we're already kind of chopping. We're kind of in that trend box right here. So let's get this geometric line up here for tonight. and see how that holds that going into the evening. If that holds, great. If not, we have this support level down here, and other than that, we've got a couple other crazy levels below. But let's see how it does up there. Above, I have to go back and check and see what other kind of resistance levels we might have. But in the meantime, let's see if we can hold this, this guiding geo line right here going into tomorrow. So good stuff, up 15, 16 points. So let's see what they have in store for tonight, into tomorrow. Good stuff. All right, so let's take a look and let's take a look at the topic here for today and this week. So this week we're going to be talking about earnings season strategies. So what a better topic, right? As we start off of earnings season, it feels like so long since earnings season's been here, and because we've really been focused on a lot of Corona stuff, a lot of headline driven. Now the last earnings that came out were pretty interesting. They were still a little bit muted. Everybody was expecting them to be rough because of Corona, and that's something to look at here going into this week, right? So this week we're going to talk about not gambling. Don't gamble, right? And it kind of goes without saying, especially anybody who's been following me for a while. One of the things we don't want to do is gamble into earnings. A lot of folks will take lottos into earnings. So what's a lotto? A lotto is where you basically risk everything on your trade. You know that you have the potential of going to zero, but if it goes great, right, then you have a chance of winning, relatively big on it, right? So that's kind of interesting, right? So we've got a couple things coming up this week. So we've got JP Morgan coming up this week. That's going to be a big earnings. We've got Netflix coming up too. So we'll take a look at both of these going in this week. So a couple things on JP Morgan, right? We've got this really kind of choppy-ish type pattern right here, kind of triangle. And we're going into a lot of, interesting areas, right? We've got this geometric line below, we've got the geometric line above. So, in order for that, if they had some sort of blowout earnings number, right? In order for this thing really to go, right, it would have to somehow gap above this 116 level. Right, and then we could start really seeing a major gap and go on, JP Morgan. If it gaps down, if it gaps below this level, below this 82 level, right, we could see if this thing really gets going. Okay, so what are we what are we talking about? Do we want to gamble? Do we want to bet on this one going into earnings? Is it really trending either way? It's really not, right? So the only time we hold anything through earnings is if we're up in a position and we've got freebie runners on it, right? Does that make sense? So in other words, if we if we were short here all this time, and we're way up in a position, we've already sold locked in profits, and we have a couple runners left short, right? We might hold those through earnings, right? Because they're already paid for. So if we lost all our premium on those, right, then it doesn't matter, right? We're already profitable on the trade. Okay, so that's the only reason that really makes sense to do it, right? Because we've been trending down, or say we had a huge day on Monday, we bought the dip, right? We bought, say, like next week's, this week's calls, and we're up on, let's say we got 10 of them, right? And then we sold maybe 8 of them, and we got 2 runners to see how it holds through earnings, right? So that's a possibility too. Now we may start to see some big, we may see some big volume on it. The banks got really, really strong on Friday. A lot of rotation into the banks on Friday, and in anticipation for earnings. So a lot of times they do that, and there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on. So for the most part with earnings, they could gap it up, they could gap it down, they could gap it up on bad earnings, they could gap it down on good earnings, and you could have great earnings, they could still chop it. Right, so that makes it really, really tough with options trading into earnings. So I think the best rule to consider there is don't gamble. Right, don't just buy stuff to hope it's going to go up or down based on earnings, because it is a binary event. There's groups out there like Estimize that they have some of their top earnings pickers of what's going to happen through earnings. Even their best, like their best, the best of the best, are right about 60% of the time of what happens after earnings. 60%, that's the best they could do. That's not good. Those are not good odds for trading, right? So trading in a binary event, unless you have runners, like freebie runners going into them, is a gamble, right? So I do not suggest doing it, right? So it's too easy to lose money, and the market makers know that, right? So they price in the premium going into earnings because the volatility is so high. They price it in such a way, right, that they should win. The house should win either way, right? So say they have a maybe an estimated. Let me just. I'm not going to pull it up right here, but I'm just going to take a look and just see. So right now, the market maker expected move is about 6 points, 6 or 7 points on JP Morgan. Okay, so what's that? So we're 7 points on JP Morgan, right? So we closed at 96, right? So maybe 100, 102, maybe 103-ish, or something like that, right? So where does that put us? That puts it, basically right up here. Okay, so that puts us into basically a sell zone, right? So the market makers know this, or if we go below it, right? So that puts us basically at like 89-ish, right? That puts us basically back at the triangle. So trading into that, right, is really a big risk, right? So you can't, unless you go way out of the money, right, to find something cheap that's way out of the money. But is JP Morgan real? Let's say you bought the 120 calls, right? What are the 120 calls? What did they trade out on Friday for this week? So the 120 calls closed at 7 cents. Okay, there's 9,000 open interest on those. So the 120s, so 7 cents. Okay, so the odds of those actually going in the money, right, is so low, right? They've priced it in there. They've priced it in. That's why they're 7 cents. The odds of going in the money is really rare, right? And so gambling into that is really just that. It is gambling, right? Which way they think it's going to go. So the best thing we could do is look for strategies to trade after earnings if we don't have the freebie runners on it. Is to look for strategies after earnings, and that's what we're going to be talking about for the rest of this week. So this should be fun. So tomorrow night we're actually going to talk about some pretty cool strategies, and we're going to talk about throughout the week, and then we're going to see how they play out this week with earnings. So J.P. Morgan reports Tuesday at the open. So tomorrow night on this channel in this live stream, we're going to talk about an earnings strategy. We're going to see how that plays out when we review it on Wednesday or on Tuesday night. So to see how it all plays out. And we'll be doing that through the week this week. So it should be pretty interesting. No need to look at Netflix, right? Because we can already see, the only time it really happens is something crazy happens, right? And usually we see that when things are actually getting pretty extended. And we're starting to see some things get really extended, like Amazon, Tesla, things like that. So, and we might discuss a couple other strategies with that too. So anyway, the whole point is don't gamble. Okay? So anyway, good stuff. I hope everybody found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So Shirley sent in a few via email. Shirley, hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. So let's take a look here and see what we got. So Tesla. So Tesla is crazy, right? So inside day, this thing got really, really tight, right? It got really, really tight in here, real compressed, right? And from contraction leads to expansion, right? Nice little tight triangle, boom, inside day up and gave a huge move. Why did it move so much on Friday? I mean, short squeezing, right? And everybody jumped in, right? So the point is that everybody who can't stand Tesla, and there's a lot, right? The Tesla Qs, the Teslax, right? Everybody thinks this thing is eventually going to go down. And Tesla loves that. Tesla loves squeezing out shorts. They're epic for it, right? So, and they know, good traders know that, right? So we look for these opportunities where we know these squeezes can happen, right? So if anything, right, they might have a stop in this area right here, stop just above it right here, and then they might stop it on, try to set their shorts on the way up, and Tesla just takes them out, right? So we had that yesterday. We had two triangle actions right here. We had an inside 15 right here. They got really, really tight, and then boom, Tesla broke out right here. We pointed this out in our group, and some folks did really, really well on Tesla on Friday. Right, and then we got tight up here too. We got another triangle. Look at that, double inside 15. We start to break out. Look, it's holding the ADMA here. Why are we short? Why would anyone want to short this? People try to call tops. It's tough, right? So it's very, very. It has to be a reason. There's no levels of support up here. Right? This thing just keeps on squeezing, right? And they know that. And what I really love about this one, this consolidation right here, low volume consolidation, and then volume came in it, right? This right here, look at that, low volume, right? Low volume consolidation, boom, right? So plenty of movement on Tesla on Friday. Really, really crazy stuff. So where's this thing going? Who knows? But chances are it's going to keep squeezing until something changes. So this will be a huge one to look at earnings, right? So again, bullish still proven otherwise on this one. So earnings are coming up on the 22nd. So we got about a week and a half on those. So that should be pretty interesting to see what Tesla has in store. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at take two. All right, so take two. Wow, yeah, nice here. Big push, right? So we can actually adjust this trend line right here. So fresh high, fresh trend line. In fact, I'm going to clear everything off right here. Take two, boom, boom. Right. So take two is another one, right? So it's a gaming type company, right? This is one of those strong ones here for people that are at home for Corona, right? As Corona continues to increase, right? We're seeing these names take a push to the upside. So again, nice breakout on this one. Good volume on Friday, so definitely something to keep an eye on going into tomorrow. In fact, I like that one so much, we'll add it to the bullish radar for Monday. Let's take a look here. I'm not a huge fan of the upper shadow, but if it pushes up over those levels, it's definitely something we want to take a look at. So let's see how that goes here. Otherwise, we'll have to wait for a low volume pullback, right? Okay, so let's take a look here. So we got this. We got EA was on our radar from the other day, and now take two will be on the radar for Monday. Okay, good stuff. Good. Thank you, Shirley. That's a good one. All right, let's take another look. So Splunk, SPLK. Okay, so there was a little bit of rotation out of software the other day, but kind of came back in. That also closed strong here. It's still holding trend as well. So a nice bounce up on that one. Again, watch that upper shadow. It's kind of more of like a spinning top type pattern. So not as pretty as the take two. Zoom again, continue to push to all-time highs as we get increased corona cases. So this thing continues to work its way up there too. Very, very interesting. AbbVie. Okay, yeah, a little bit weak right here, coming into a little bit of a pullback, right? So let's take a look here. Let's see how it's holding its trend right here. So fresh high, fresh trend right here. Yeah, so it started to break down below, and this is kind of tough, right? So this it started to break below in a couple areas right here. So it's starting to look pretty bearish on increased volume. So AbbVie is going to go on the short radar for for Monday. Great find on that one. Good. Okay. Fantastic stuff. Tariq, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. TSN, let's take a look. I feel like chicken tonight. All right, so here we go. So we got this move up right here, right? We got this. Oh, I didn't that holder there. So yeah, so nice bounce off of that geometric level on Friday, right? Big volume coming in here, right? So and getting really tight in this triangle. So again, just be careful here. It might get some fallout. We got the cloud. You got the 50-day moving average. So just really tight. I'd like to see like a breakout one way or the other on this one. And let's see what else we got. Caterpillar. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, right. So look what we had here, right. This is an example, like if we just kind of looked at that Tyson, right. So we had this really big triangle pattern right here. We finally broke out here, retested that, boom, up, right. So we got the nice upside movement off of that. Breakout, tight triangle, right. So breakout, retest, and then up, right. And now we're kind of triangulating again here, right. You can kind of put them wherever you want to, but in general, tight triangle right here. So let's see if we can get a breakout one way or another on Caterpillar. Definitely getting tight, and then PG. PG, yeah, kind of working its way up there. I like it, kind of like a ascending triangle pattern. Let's get a. I'm going to just clear this drawing set altogether. Okay, so holding trend, right? Watch your, trying to get out of this little triangle right here. So it's starting to work its way out of here, but watch out for this. Okay, so we got that going on right there. Decent volume came in here, a little bit of an upper shadow. It's trying to clear these levels. So a lot of different levels here that this has to deal with. But in general, consumer staples doing okay. So good stuff. Great. So we got one out there for Are They? Speaking of kind of a consumer staple talk, right? Beer. So Molson Coors. Let's see how that's going. So this has been struggling for a while, right? So we got big down trend line right here. It's kind of holding some supportish areas right here. So let's see if that continues to hold. I like how we saw a lot of this type stuff, a lot of things breaking down on Thursday that reversed really hard, right, on Friday. So let's see how that holds. Otherwise, this might just be a retest of the ADMA and continue to work its way down and follow the trend line down. So good stuff there. Kim, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, pumped about this week ahead, right? Big earnings coming up. Yeah, let's take a look at the names coming up here. So we got Bank of America. Bank of America! Coming in here again, lots of strength here on the banks, right? Hit the 50-day moving average. We pointed this out in the group here. We're like at the open. We're like, guys, watch the banks here today. They're strong. Right, so holding this geometric line right here, so nice bounce of these areas. It'd be kind of scary if this actually turned into a big bear flag. So we'll see how that goes going into earnings. Definitely going to be some big tells on what these ones say. So JP Morgan we looked at as well. Again, kind of forming this triangle pattern right here, but it'd also be scary if that was a bear flag forming too. So we keep an eye on that. Again, big bounce on Friday. Let's see, it's a Square. A little bit of pullback right here, but maybe, just maybe, we can catch a low volume pullback on this one. To the ADMA in here and see how that holds and see if it gives us a bounce. Watch out, kind of bump and run potential on that. And then PayPal, let's take a look. So PayPal, yeah, pulling back a little bit here too. Again, we're looking for that low volume pullback. We talked about that, that's why we drew this low volume pullback and up. So let's just keep an eye on it, right? So we got a little volume to the downside, but maybe it'll give us a low volume pullback here and then try to give us a bounce. So good stuff. So that should be interesting too to see how that's affected by some of the other financial names reporting. So good stuff. Two little fintech ones right there. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's say Google. Google finally did its job, right? Finally got to all-time highs on Friday on low volume, or lower volume, which is pretty interesting. But decent close there. So finally did its thing and caught up with the rest of FANG and did its job. So good stuff there on that one. So let's see how that holds. SPCE, very, very interesting. Potential pause day, Doji sandwich potential. So let's see if we can break above essentially Friday. So we'll see where they bring it. If we get some move up off of this big volume triangle breakout candle right here. Otherwise, watch out, it could be a reversal doji and back down. So we really want to see strength over Friday's highs on SPCE. It gave us a great day trade. We day traded this one on Friday just because great Friday momentum right here. We love this GMX breakout from pre-market right here. It got some good volume coming in. And then here we caught it through the 15 orb high right here. So we jumped in right here as it got through that. Look at that volume came in and just got a nice spike on that one. That paid well on Friday, so that was a good opportunity there. So we're still keeping an eye on this one, see if we can get some follow through. If it makes sense to maybe, we'll see what we have tomorrow. It's gonna be a big one to keep an eye on right there. Netflix, of course, earnings this week, so we've got that going on. This thing's just nuts, right? So just like the rest of these names, continue to work its way up. Fresh trend line, right? So I mean, the bump line here is like ridiculous. So let's see how that goes right there. Again, if ever there's an earnings run, that was quite an earnings run right there, and we still have room to go because this one reports on I believe Thursday after hours, right? Yeah, so that should be an interesting one to trade on Friday. We'll have lots of techniques that we're going over this week here to keep an eye out for it. DTIL, yeah, super duper tight, right? Definitely range bound right here. Again, I probably wouldn't like to mess with it until you saw a breakout candle over those levels. So good stuff. Appreciate it. ZEK, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. I always do that. It's a GIS. Let's take a look. So GIS, yeah, again, these consumer staple type names, have had decent move right here, decent little breakout candle, good volume. We'll see if we get some follow through on that one. Glue. Okay, yeah. So remember, this is like kind of that bull flag, type area here. Decent breakout the other day. Pause day on Friday. This thing was huge a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, and very, very interesting as it continues to work its way up. MU. Again, another one to keep an eye on, guys. I think I mentioned this one in the public feed right here. Look at that inside a week this week. This thing's getting really super duper tight, really, really tight to the trend right here. I like how it closed right above the 3-week Northern Doji right there. So let's even kind of break out of those levels. It's a tough one to trade, guys. Just be careful with that. Okay. Good. It is holding the cloud and a couple key moving averages too, but MU is tough. And then TSM, another semiconductor right here, right inside day. So let's see how that holds going into Monday. So good stuff. Appreciate it, ZK Royal. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, hope you had a great weekend too. JP Morgan, of course. Yeah, so that one is really, really tight. We just kind of use that as our example tonight going into earnings about not gambling. So let's kind of keep an eye. We know what the market maker is thinking, a $7 move one way or the other. We'll see where they put it and what kind of strategies we can use on the intraday basis to trade it, and then where it goes from there, we'll see. Wells Fargo, decent move on here. Here's the bad boy of the banks right here, right? So, all that nonsense they were doing with their retail branches and everything. But anyway, so kind of holding these geometric levels right here. So let's see, maybe it could give a push up to the cloud 50-day moving average, right? If the banks still want to be strong and if it wants to ride its wave up there, it's got earnings coming up as well. Microsoft, Mr. Softy, so down a little bit here, just still holding its, still kind of holding its own, right? Held the prior day's lows and all that stuff. So we're just gonna, again, it would be cool if it hit the ADMA at some point on low volume, but still uptrending, so that's good. And then Shop. Yep, Shop's still doing its thing, right? So triangle breakout right here, good volume, right? Nice push to the upside, got real tight in here again to the ADMA, right? Broke out there again, so it's getting tight here again. So let's see what that one has in store. That's got earnings on the 29th, which is like in 2.5 weeks. So let's see how that does too. So anyway, nice tight consolidation pattern there on Shop. Good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. Cesar, what's going on? XOM. Let's take a look. Yeah, so XOM, look at that. Yeah, oil had some strength on Friday, right? Some relative strength too. So it actually turned into a low volume snapback to the this downward trend line right here. So careful with that one. Might want to pull back on the oil right here. Oil itself is forming an ascending triangle. See how they're doing that. Down a little bit here. Oil's just getting really, really tight right here. So that obviously could affect XOM depending on which way it decides to break. So good stuff, Charlie. What's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at W. Yeah, this should be interesting, guys. So they had some nasty rumors that came out this weekend, right? Obviously, if they're true, just horrifying, and they should be delisted and be held responsible to justice, right? So, but in the meantime, double inside day. Now they've come back out and refuted it, right? Saying it was a soft flare glitch. So let's see how that all goes right here. So it could be interesting and on the radar. But guys, Wayfair is really tough to trade on the options. Okay, so that's the only thing I'd be worried about on that one. So could be interesting. I'd like to see what the what the results are of all that. And then SPY, let's take a look. So SPY got, again, same thing too, right? This is in its trend box right now. Now, it never filled its island top reversal. It doesn't really matter because the SPX did. But let's still see it still viable for it. See if it could fill that up here and then try to work its way back out of its trend box as well. So good stuff. Michael, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. JMOS, what's happening? Good evening. Yeah, Tesla. I think it was crazy, right? On Friday, up 150 points and just big breakout candle. And the real question is, how far can this thing go? It goes as high as it wants to. Right? And don't forget, we've had price targets on this thing at 2,000. That doesn't really seem that far away. Right? So we're still holding a lot of levels right here. We got a geometric line right here. So let's see what it does. If this thing gives like a pause day on Monday, right, we may see another big move up on Tesla. So we're going to be tracking this one for sure. Great setups on Friday. All right, some nice lotto ideas in the group in the Discord. Right? So, some folks, like 90 cents, they went to like $9, like stuff like that. So they're really tight on the strike right here. Right? How high is it going to go? Who knows? But when this type of volume comes in, look at that volume. You gotta take notice, right? So big pushes right here, and then we got really, really tight. I just love these low volume pullbacks here and these consolidation patterns. And then boom, once that volume comes in again, see ya. And Have a good rest of your afternoon. Right? So we're definitely be keeping an eye on Tesla. And yeah, yeah, amazing, amazing stuff. And that what they had more news over the weekend too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, just good, good, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, just really impressive. And then PayPal. Yeah, PayPal we looked at here. We're going to see if it, gives us maybe a low volume pullback to the upward trend line and see where that takes us. So good stuff, Cesar. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well, and thank you for your support. And what else? To the X Country Cab, what's going on? Yeah, MU again, inside week, getting really, really tight here. It's still holding its upward trend line right here. This is a tough one to trade, guys. Just let you know ahead of time. It likes to go crazy, right? Get big up moves and then down, up moves and then down. So sometimes you give an okay day trade on it, but I try to keep it off the radar. But I do like the inside week. Facebook double inside day, guys. What was one that gave us a double inside day recently? Roku. And what did Roku do? It gapped above the double inside day, including the start of the mother bar, held that really well, and then worked its way to the upside. So now, is Facebook going to do that on Monday? Who knows? Let's see what it does, though. But if it gaps above all-time highs, that's significant, right? We might see a big push on Facebook to catch up to its other friends, right? Otherwise, we'll just use our regular double inside day strategies. Home Depot. Inside day, guys. Think triple inside week. Triple inside week, right? So this thing is more than likely gearing up to do something, right? It's getting really, really tight. Okay, so let's see what this thing has in store, and if we could break out one way or the other on Home Depot. Options a little bit blah in the morning, but they tend to get a little bit more normalized throughout the day. Abbott Labs, yep. So let's take a look here. So again, still holding trend inside day on Friday. Earnings coming up pretty soon. So let's see how that goes. Rich, what's going on? Gonna be an interesting week for sure. If not covered yet, can you check out the T-Bio? Yeah, T-Bio kind of working its way down there inside day, getting kind of tight on that one. APPN. Again, kind of similar, just kind of working its way down there. Still holding the cloud bottom, so that's good. Work. This is an interesting one, right? So what have we been talking about at work? So one thing we were talking about is this head and shoulders pattern right here. Never really broke down below it, right? So it's starting to look okay, right? So we had a big breakout candle, or attempted breakout candle right here. We still need to get over these levels. Inside day, that kind of did nothing, so it's getting tight up here again. We want to see it break out through that level and see where it can take us into that gap, right? And then good DKNG. Really, really struggling right here, guys. So this should have been a better balance off of this line right here. We did get a nice gap up off it, right? But then we're pulling back down again. So let's see how it holds this trend line to see if we can actually get going off of it. So it should be pretty interesting there. And then XEL. Yeah, decent little day right here. Again, this thing's getting really tight here too. Just keep an eye on that. See if we can get above those levels. FUL. Yeah, really tight here inside day, holding the 50-day, and it's kind of sandwiched between the 8-day on that one. JD. Yep, big gap up here, guys. Just be careful with these names, right? So this big gap up on the Hong Kong listing news and all that stuff. So this was helping out the Babas and all that stuff. But again, pulling back right here. So let's see how it does. Let's see if we pull back here with some low volume and give us another push to the upside on JD. And then D-Dog. Super strong, right? So this thing has been, really, really good right here. I mean, kind of at the top of a channel type thing. So again, I would still wait for this one. I mean, this thing's been strong forever, but maybe it'll give us a pullback for an opportunity on that one, or we'll look for a breakout and see if we can get a day trade out of it. So good stuff. Rocky, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at X USD. Oh yeah, ooh, good move on Friday. Right, so kind of sort of trying to break out of this like falling wedges type thing, right? So it had huge opportunities there. Let's see if we get some follow through on that one. So Roku, yep. So Roku, same thing. And we talked about this here, guys. If you guys remember I said like the other day, I said after this double inside day, so if this thing can get above these levels, if it's either now or never for Roku, right? The next day, and then it did it, right? The next day we got a little bit of follow through on Friday. So yeah, so if you go back to Wednesday's live stream, from last week, we talked about Roku. We're like, if it's going to do it, it's going to do it on Thursday, and it did it, which is pretty cool. Plug. Hanging in there, holding the ADMA right here. So a little bit low volume on that one, but see if we can get a move up off of that. Good stuff. Good to see you. Sunil, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Yeah, let's take a look at AMD. So AMD had a nice move right here, but guys, AMD is not out of the woods yet. We had a couple big candles, but it's done big candles before. Big candle here, pull back. Big candle here, upper shadow. Big candle here, up, red candle. Right, let's get over all-time highs on this thing, right? Otherwise, it's, day trade only type stuff. Or find some sort of another low-volume pullback at a support level. SPY, of course, we're stuck in the trend box right now, so let's see if we can get some follow to the upside right here. But future's still strong going into tomorrow, so maybe we can get another gap and go and actually get out of this trend box here going into tomorrow. Microsoft again, just a slight little teeny tiny pullback there, Doji Day. Again, just kind of consolidating up there as it's still pretty strong overall. And then ATVI again, yeah, strong on all the gaming stocks right here still. So we looked at Take-Two, we looked at EA the other day. Right, EA was one that was on our public game plan idea. That got some nice follow through from this candle, right? So that was the strongest of the bunch on Thursday. So good stuff. Really appreciate it. Nitin, what's going on? Good evening. Yeah, thoughts on Netflix? Yeah, so Netflix is still doing its thing, guys. I mean, could it continue? It's got earnings this week. Yeah, it can keep going, right? Just watch the premiums; they're getting high, right? So just be careful with that one. Try not to go, too out of the money on it, right? Unless you got just an incredible setup on it. But it may try to continue to work its way up into earnings, and we'll see what they have in store for that one. So they're thinking. A lot of analysts are thinking they hit, some big numbers on subscribers, right, during this last earnings season. So let's see how it's all going to be about the numbers, right, with them, the subscriber numbers. So it should be interesting. If they miss, that could bring Netflix down really quickly. Roku, again, big upper shadow here on Friday, but got a little bit of follow through from Thursday's move. So good. So Neil, yeah, NCLH. Again, guys, these things are gap up, gap down, gap up, gap down. Just depends, right, on the mood of the market in the morning, right? So, it held the cloud right now. It's kind of holding this geometric line right here. It is kind of looking like a little bit of a head and shoulders type pattern. So just got to see which way it moves on this one. And there was some news on Friday, I believe, that was basically saying, like, it came out and looked at, some analysts came out and looked at their numbers, and they're like, there's no way this company can be in business. And it went up anyway. So, like that type of thing. So we'll see how that goes. And then Disney. Yeah, Disney's doing pretty good, right? Doji sandwich up off of the cloud, right? Strong candle pause day and then up on Friday. So that's good. Get some good volume right here. Let's see how that does. Definitely want to keep on the radar as they're opening parks up. So that should be interesting as well. So Rob, what's going on? Hope you had a great weekend too. Microsoft. A lot of folks asking about Microsoft here today. Again, just plowing its way up, doing its Microsoft thing, holding trend line. I mean, for me, I'd like to see a low volume pullback to the trend line and then to see if it work its way up off of that. But it did pull. It hasn't even tagged the ADMA yet, so just kind of tough to chase that one. SPCE, potential doji sandwich right here. So let's see if that can work out over Friday's highs and get a move on it. AMD again getting really tight, in this area here. Had a good breakout candle the other day, kind of a nasty pullback on Friday as some money flowed out of the semis on Friday. So let's see how that goes. Domino's Pizza earnings this week. Definitely going to keep an eye on this. Right, great breakout candle on Friday. I mean, not amazing. Increased volume, not huge volume. We like that kind of volume right there. And but anyway, nice candle on DPZ. So yeah, so that's something we could look at for potential. Maybe get a little more earnings run out of it too. See if it'll deliver, right? So Twitter, double inside day on Twitter. You gotta love it. That's two. That's Facebook and Twitter. So definitely want to keep an eye on Facebook and Twitter tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to put these on the game plan as well. Hold on one sec. Double inside day. Facebook and Twitter. Wow. That should be very, very interesting. Okay, good stuff. And then ATVI, I get a nice follow through from what we talked about on Thursday, right? So we got a little follow through on that one going into the day on Friday. So let's see again. Gaming stock's pretty strong. Not TSN. I thought you were looking at the chicken stocks. I was like, hey, why not? I mean, it's got some interesting stuff going on. Yeah, TXN Semiconductor. Gotcha. I mean, who knows? Some folks trade Tyson. We've pointed out a couple good trades on it right here. So getting a little bit tight right here off the upper shadow on Thursday. So inside day right here. So let's see if we can get out of these levels. We got a double inside day right here. Look at that. Gap below the double inside, worked its way down. Roku gapped above the double inside day and worked its way up. Just kind of neat there. So keep that in mind, guys. A couple interesting ones coming up. So inside day on Friday. This thing loves to do inside days, but let's see if we can get out of these levels right here. So we got a little bit of geo resistance there. So let's see what it has in store for that one. We'll keep an eye on the sectors in the morning and see what the semis are up to. It'll be very, very interesting. SAP inside day after the gap up on that. Geo, hope you're doing well. Had a great weekend. Lulu getting really tight up here, guys. Inside day. Let's see if we can get out of this level. So it could be really interesting. A lot of folks are looking at at Lulu. Johnson & Johnson, again, still in this kind of funky pattern right here. It's holding its 200 day, but and its 8 day, but it's Johnson & Johnson. IBM hanging in there, decent 180 reversal on Friday. So let's see if you guys can follow through the upside. So good stuff. Adrian, what's going on? Appreciate it. Yeah, let's look at eBay. So eBay, nice move up right there. Nice little pause candle right here. This thing's been epic, guys. Epic. Right? So just huge moves and continue to work its way up. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know why. But who knows? Maybe it's an acquisition target or something like that. But we'll see what happens. Got earnings coming up. Maybe a nice low volume pullback to the ADMA. Even better, a low volume pullback here for potential earnings run. Could be pretty cool on it. But again, super duper strong. Yeah, new here. Hey, that's all good. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Definitely tune in. Be sure to click subscribe on YouTube so you can tune in for the next one. Geo, Home Depot, triple inside week. Amazing. Is it looking for a dirty sandwich on the monthly chart? Yeah, that'd be really cool. Let's go to the monthly on that one. Doo-doo-doo. Yep, nice little pause right here. Big move, 2 pauses, and then see if we can get a real big push up on Home Depot. Would be great. But yeah, getting really, really tight here on the daily. Good. See what's going on. So you tried to study on Tesla, last hour jump, and Amazon looks like they may be up tomorrow. What are the thoughts? Yeah, so Tesla, obviously, just keep an eye on that. See if they do another epic squeeze tomorrow. Amazon getting really, really high, guys. Remember we talked about this a couple times on this trend line. Real tight to the trend line, up. Real tight to the trend line, up. Real tight to the trend line, low volume, up. Right, so now it's just up. Right, so I mean, is it going to give another pullback to the trend line here? Who knows? We'll see. Right, it's getting a little bit high above our trend line. We talked about this, right? We did. Remember we talked about how high it got over the trend line last time, and then we did a projected move up here. We're basically right at it going into tomorrow, so that should be interesting too, to see how extended it likes to get over trend lines. So we got that one going on. Of course, Tesla will keep an eye on as well. Good. Excuse me. So so Walmart. Again, they did their Walmart, Amazon Prime type deal and all that stuff. Yeah, great. Wow, great candle on on Friday, right? We had that huge breakout candle right here. We pulled back a little bit. We were looking at buying a dip on this one, and it never gave us the dip we were looking for because they gapped up on Thursday, right? We were hoping to just kind of pull back a little bit more and then give us a nice little sneaky entry on it. It didn't, right? It just gapped up and went, right? And then it got some follow through on Friday. Really, really nice. I like how it closed over these levels right here. Let's continue to keep it on the bullish radar. Okay, I haven't really seen too much analyst comments on it, but we're going to see, see if we can continue to get some continuation on that. Continue to get some continuation. Good stuff. Awesome, Michael. What's going on? Overstock. This thing's been a monster. From $2 up to $50. Look at that, just a couple months. So again, it continues to be strong. Inside day up on Friday, another upper shadow right there. Let's see if it keeps on going. All right, so Piton. Let's see. Yeah, finally a decent candle close, right? So all-time highs again. Good stay-at-home ETF, good stay-at-home stock. So we'll see how that goes pulling on that one too. Again, generally pretty amazing, really amazing move. Tracy, what's going on? Good evening. FSLY, another forever bullish one that finally pulled back a little bit on increased volume. So we want to see if it can pull back again here on decreased volume and then give us another push to the upside. And then net, it's still holding trend. It's still holding its trend line. So we don't want to short it, right? Unless a cute short, but we don't want to short it until the trend is confirmed to the downside, right? And then we'll try to follow that trend. So net with a big gap up and a reversal, so that's interesting, right? So big move right there, big volume. So nasty candle to try to go long into. So let's see if we can pull back a little bit farther, give us a little pullback into the trend line with low volume. That'd be great. So Rob, lost you for a second there. So what MA would be good to use on the daily time frame? The 821, 513. Yeah, so you can use any of those Fibonacci ones. We like those all. I like the 8, gives us a lot of clarity on that one. The 20, 21's good. That's kind of like your mid-Bollinger Band. All right, so a lot of folks, if you're over the 8 and 21 day, right, you're bullish. Once you break below it, right, things change. Right, so another thing too is just keep the 50 on there and your 200, just because those are big levels that people look at. So good. So Bagash, what's going on? Hope you had a great weekend. Light again. Still, tough one to trade. You get double inside day, very, very interesting. Twitter with a double inside day, very, very interesting as well. So you can get over those levels again. Triple V. Valvoline. Double inside day as well, right? PHM. Inside day at the ADMA, so that's an interesting one. ON. Yeah, don't keep an eye on those house rental ones. Right? They're talking about more people missing rent and more companies missing rent and all that stuff. This Corona nonsense. So anyway, good stuff right here, guys, on this one. So this is that ON, right? We talked about this triangle move right here, right? If it does want to do a symmetrical move up, right, we can see it, kind of try to continue to work its way up there. So big candle right here. Maybe hopefully just a pause day from Friday. So good stuff, Charlie. Yeah, my pleasure. Jay, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. See, someone just commented somewhere that Green Monday is a possible trap for Tuesday. Your thoughts? Sure. So or not, right? I mean, these type of, guys, just follow price. Right? Just follow price, right? Follow price action, see which way it goes. Right? So they're making these conjectures. If we gap up, then we could have a potential reversal. Then we got a big move down, or a bear trap, bull trap. I mean, it's just a bunch of nonsense, guys. Stop following that stuff, right? Follow price, right? Use your trend lines, right? Look for momentum, look for volume, look for breakouts, look for chart patterns, and do that, right? I mean, don't worry about it, right? So it's the market's going to tell you which way it's going, right? So it is what it is. One way or the other, like we could go out, we could gap up on Tuesday. Maybe we'll get a big gap up, we'll get to all-time highs in reverse, and then it's a bear trap. I mean, it just doesn't matter, right? So it's wherever price is going is where we want to go, and what we want to catch the highest probability directions in those ways, right? So here, right, Corona crash, we're working our way down, we're downtrending, we're below the trend line, right, on this ON right here, right? So we're looking for setups, we're looking for low volume pullback. Here you go, low volume pullback to the upper trend, then we can go short, right? So I mean, right, that's the idea. Now, okay, we're back at the upper trend right here, right? So a little bit of low volume, we short again. Right, and then we get to the upper trend. Oh, we broke out of the upper trend. Okay, we don't want to do anything yet until we can confirm above that breakout. Okay, we confirm above the breakout, we go long. Right, then we're chopping around. Comes back down. Okay, we get profit right here. We stop out and we're chop. Right, and so we get some confirmation of what's going on. Right, pull back to 50 EMA. Right, we start to pull back here, low volume. We get a fresh trend line on this. Right, then we just kind of keep working. Right, then it works its way up. If trend is up, we look for look at that doji sandwich right there. Breakout, work your way up, make a little money there. Pause, consolidate. You break out right here, and then we look to try to take this to the upside. Right. It doesn't matter. Traps and all that. So this is just conjecture. Just follow price. Draw trend lines and follow price. Anyway. X country, yeah. See with Ford, so they're coming out with their Bronco. Right, so that should be interesting. Remember the Bronco, what a great one. What a great vehicle. White Ford Bronco. So anyway, interesting bounce here yesterday. We had this geometric line. A lot of things, starting to break down the other day. Right, so nasty breakdown right here, increased volume. A lot of folks got, this is tough, right? So we still need confirmation, right? So this is real first breakout candle. A lot of the things we're doing that, like UAL and a couple of these stocks, right? No confirmation on this one. Still the 50-day moving average. Came back down a little bit and bounced, right? So worked its way up right here. So again, we're still in the chop zone right here. Moving over to the cloud. Let's see what it can do right here. It's kind of a sideways head and shoulders as well, right? Good stuff. The Nest. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at DKNG. Okay, so DKNG, a little bit of a bounce right here, right? It hasn't gotten any follow through yet, so may try to do a low volume pullback back to that geometric line on that one. AVT. Again, it's getting really, really tight right here above the cloud, so let's see if I can give any sort of breakout on that one. CDLX. Okay, looking pretty good right here. Nice breakout of this geometric line right here, and then a nice pause day on Friday, so let's see if we get some follow through the upside on that one. Intel. Okay, good reversal move right here. This is actually a little bit divergent from the rest of the semiconductors, so that's interesting. So I like how you got ZLNX on here, so let's see how that did. Again, that's kind of tight right there. I like how it's on the ADMA on low volume, so that's good. See if we get a bounce off of that one. Lulu. Getting really, really super duper tight. I want to see a breakout candle on this one. Walmart. Again, strong day on Friday on Walmart, guys. Really, really pushed its way up. Again, we were looking for a pullback off of this candle. It just never pulled back as far as we wanted it to, right? And it gapped up above it, so it made it really, really tough. But it still gave some strong moves on Friday, too. SBCE, nice breakout candle on that one. Potential doji sandwich as it's working its way out of the triangle. BAC, again, earnings this week, so let's see what kind of clues we get right there. It just kind of headbanged itself right there into the 50 moving average ceiling, so let's see if we can get above it. Cody. Again, just kind of blah. Slide down to the bottom of the cloud right there. Interesting stuff. So see, AMC, it's opening soon. Who knows? We'll see on this one. Right? A lot of things are shutting back down. It's kind of scary, right? A lot of restaurants and stuff like that in our area here. We're opening up. Everybody's outside, dining outside. Everything's great. Everything is awesome. And then this weekend, everything's closed back down. This is horrible. It's horrible for businesses. So we'll see how AMC is going to do on this one. They could be trying to open up, but now we're getting increased cases, so they're probably going to close it back down. It's going to be a tough one. The Disney one's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens with that. OPES down a big upper shadow below the 50-day moving average, so let's see if it gets any fall through down. So big volume off of that too. So next levels here like that 12 and 11.5. So good stuff. Thanks, Minkata. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Brandon, what's going on? Hope you're well. Yeah, doing good. CRWD. Let's take a look. It's been a kind of a work from home ETF type stuff on this one. So so still working its way up right here inside day. Let's see if they can break to the upside one way or the other. Yep, inside day on that one. Very, very nice. FLIR, another inside day on this one. This is a little bit trickier to trade right here. Got the geometric line here, which it held. So let's see if we continue to hold that one or work its way up. And then DOX. Something froze up here. Give me 1 second. There we go. DOX. The DOX. AMDOX. So looking okay right here. So, tight and tight. So it's at the bottom of the triangle right here. See a nice volume right here. So we can get over the 50-day moving average. Maybe work its way up to the 80. Maybe we'll see if it works its way up to the 50. And possibly get out of the cloud and get out of that triangle one of these days. LDOS. LDOS. Remember DOS? LDOS, let's see. So, yeah, inside day at the bottom of the cloud. So just be careful with that one going into Monday. See what it has in store here to hold those lines. So good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you, what's going on? Tesla news is good at Slash Model 3 sales. Yay! So thank you for the. Oh yeah. So well, not advice. Just telling you what how we look at it. So it's all about understanding price action, which way it goes, and understanding your geometry in the market. Brandon, the best 30-second analysis of price action you ever heard. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, it's like everybody I'm talking about, man, I got like these friends that are like these super bears, and there's all these like, catastrophic, I mean, okay, like wait till it breaks below the trend line and then you can short it. Everybody's like trying to predict like these tops and like this is the end of the economy as we know it. Okay, well, then we'll short it like we did with Corona, right? When we broke down below the upward trend line, right? Yeah, guess what? We were trending up forever on the SPX. Oh no, it's the end of the world. No, we're not below the trend line. Right? Oh, it's the end of the world. No, we're not below the trend line. Oh, here, yeah, we broke below the trend line and we broke this one. Okay, now we can short. Then it gives you a low volume pullback to the trend line. Okay, we short again, right? I mean, it's like okay, end of the world is here. Oh no, wait, no, the Morningstar reversal is working way up. Okay, low volume pull. I mean, come on. So anyway, so good stuff. So Sherry, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Bad news for Florida Disneyland. Bad news? What happened? I thought they opened it up. Was it something just come out right here? 7th July reopening. The beginning of a horror movie. Disney World slammed its doors reopened amid spiking. Yeah, so that should be pretty interesting reopening video. Very, very interesting right here. Magic is here. Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe it's good news. Maybe it's good news, Sherry. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, it could be bad if, with the increased spikes and all that stuff. Let's see how that's going on. It'll be very, very... We're definitely keeping an eye on the Disney one going in tomorrow. Good stuff. Thanks, Sherry. DPZ, Domino's. Yeah, earnings this week. Nice breakout candle on Friday. See if we get some follow through on it. Now, it is notorious for giving these sneaky little breakout moves, right? Big move right here, blah. Big move right here, blah. This is a breakout candle right here. Volume's okay, right? But watch out, premiums. We're running into earnings. So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, awesome. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube and also hit the notification button so you can see when we go live. Also, check the links in the description. We've got a link to our Twitter page so you can follow us on Twitter where we post charts, right? And also our website, too, so you can check out the different types of services that we offer there as well. Be sure to hit the like button on YouTube. We always appreciate that. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your evening. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the morning on the in YouTube where we do our Good Morning Market Prep. We talk about stocks that are moving that morning and stuff that we're looking at going into that day. So I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.